I love it when viewers send in tactics that are so good that I have to show you guys on Sort It Out SI. Welcome to Mikel's magnificent 4-2-3-1. What's going on there, guys? Kempy here and welcome back to Sort It Out SI channel. Hope you're all doing well, and today is another tactic for you. It's Mikel's magnificent 4-2-3-1, and this has been sent in by absolute legend, my good friend and community member of my channel, Zinklo / Giant. Absolute legend has sent me this tactic. It's Mikel's magnificent 4-2-3-1, and it's a tactic which I tried tweaking to make it even better, but to be honest, he made it so well as such a great representation of how Arsenal play in real life. The tweaks that I would have been making to it would have probably taken away from that Arsenal factor, and it was meant to be a very realistic Mikel Arteta tactic. So I've got this tactic here by the legend that is Zinklo. I'm going to go through all the results. I've got how many teams? I've got 5 teams to show you the results with, because it's good that it's good with Arsenal, but can it be good with other teams as well? That's what I wanted to see. I wanted to show you as well maybe a result that wasn't so good, because this is pretty much a plug and play. I've done it over the net, all 5 teams, and the results for 4 of them, fantastic. Results for 1 of them, you'll have to guess which one. Not the best, but we'll start off with Arsenal because that's the team it is built around. It's Mikel Arteta. So it says 4-2-3-1. We're going to try and get some gameplay in this video as well. Once we've gone through all the results, just before the tactic, I'll show you guys a little bit of gameplay of how this formation actually works in game. But in the league, we come second to Man City. It's actually a very realistic top 2 title race, just 5 points behind Man City on 85 points. I'm pretty sure there's a chance that can still happen in real life, which is pretty cool. Erling Haaland, doing Haaland type things. 30 goals this season. Gabby Jesus, whoever getting 24 is fantastic. And I think very, very good results for Arsenal. But one thing I like the most is this assist column. You've got Saka, Martinelli and Odegaard right up there as the front 3, all on assists. And average rating wise as well, Gabby Jesus and Bukayo Saka coming second and third to the absolute joke that is Erling Haaland. I mean, in terms of our season overview, we scored the most goals, scoring 100 goals this season. Fewest conceded, we were second to Man City alone on 35. Possession wise as well, sitting on 56 possession is quite nice. And our clean sheets, we were just 1 clean sheet behind Man City and Newcastle. In terms of the player overview, most assists was Saka 21, Martinelli 21. That's their age. That's hilarious. Saka 18, Martinelli 14, Odegaard 13. Most goals, we had just Gabby Jesus on the list. Player of the matches, Saka coming in 3rd. Most shots, Jesus right down at 8th, which I'm quite happy with. 111 minutes per goal is good stuff for Gabby Jesus. I mean, he's not the most prolific player in real life, and he's done very well there. Ramsdale with 94% pass completion. These stats, I'm not sure too many of them are going to help us out going forward. Ramsdale just 4th on the conceded list, which is nice. And he's also 4th on the most clean sheets, which is lovely, lovely stuff. But that is all in terms of the individual player stuff. In terms of the goals, 2.63 goals scored per game, 0.92 conceded per game is very, very good. And you can see as well, the goals and assists are quite spread out. I'll get rid of Nicolas Pepe for now. We've got over 5 players on over 10 assists. That's Martinelli, 10 goals, sorry. It's Martinelli, Jorginho, Odegaard, Saka, Jesus. I'm guessing Jorginho has scored a lot of penalties. I mean, it's a very tricky young side, so I imagine that's where they're getting a lot of their goals from, the penalty spot. And assist-wise, Saka overall on 27, Odegaard on 21, Martinelli on 16, Fabio Vieira also on 14. And Gabby Jesus not only gets 35 goals, but also 10 assists, which is absolutely lovely. They obviously come runners-up in the Europa League as well. A 2-0 loss to Manchester United. I mean, they're the best team in the world, so can you really expect too much else? Did win the FA Cup, a 2-1 win extra time against Newcastle. Lovely to see that. Who scored the goals? It was Fabio Vieira and Jakub Kiwior, which is very interesting to see. Another thing I do want to just quickly show you as well in this video will be the corner tactics, because these tactics I've used on quite a lot of my videos. They're fantastic. I mean, there's some results where the centre-backs do absolute bits, and we'll go through that when we get there. One thing I did do for Ghent was to keep Gift Orban, the fantastic young Nigerian striker, locked into the team up front. He had absolutely no knowledge of how to play as a complete forward at the start. That is what this formation has up front, and he's learnt it, and he's fantastic. This kid is a real talent in real life. 19 goals in 19 games for Ghent in real life, just from January after signing from Servette, I believe, in Switzerland. So this kid is off to an absolute start in his career. He's wanted by everyone. So I locked him in for this save, and he actually managed to, I'm going to say, they won the league, because this league goes into sort of like a cup system. They didn't win the last game with a playoff against Club Brugge, but they got the most points, so they won the league. That's what I'm going with. We're going to tell ourselves that. As a Gift Orban, 24 goals. Okamumu, second on the average rating, and assist-wise, Hujlaga was top of that and got the most man of the matches, which is fantastic to see. I won't go too in-depth with Ghent because they're not the biggest team in the world in terms of names, but 2.08 goals per game, 1.08 conceded per game, and in the Jupiler Pro League as well, they're sitting top on most goals and way down in 8th, to be fair, on goals conceded. So, because they're not a top side, they're predicted to come, I believe, 6th in their league. They are. Because they're not a top side, it is a bit more difficult. The tactic is quite attacking. So, you might concede a few goals if you're not right at the very top of your game. And just because I want to show you this result now, it's Hertha Berlin actually got relegated in 17th place. So, if you're fighting at the bottom of the league, as Hertha Berlin are in real life, I believe they've just been relegated for the first time in a long time, you might plug this tactic in and it might not work at all. So just bear in mind, this tactic is going to be for better opposition, better sides, not for the teams at the bottom of the league. Just a 0.85 goals per game, 1.41 conceded per game, and an absolute stinker of a season for Hertha Berlin. And this is what happens sometimes when you test tactics. And I like to be honest with you guys, because I don't want you to download this if you're struggling at the bottom of the league and you're trying to get results. It's probably not the tactic for you. If you're, mid-table and up and you're looking to push on, I'd say it's a really, really good tactic. It's quite a good overperforming tactic with better sides. So just bear that in mind. If you are a lower side in your career, do not try and plug and play this tactic. It will not work. But if you are one of the best teams in the world, like PSG, feel free to plug and play this tactic. We won all 4 trophies, which is lovely to see. Even winning the Champions League 2-0 against Atletico Madrid. Marquinhos and Lionel Messi getting it in on the score sheet. The Coupe de France was a 4-0 win against Toulouse, which is, again, easy but nice to see. And the 1-0 win in the Trophy of the Champs as well. 107 points, 131 goal difference, 3.92 goals per game is outrageous. 0.47 conceded per game is lovely as well. That's quite low considering how many goals we are scoring. 149 in the season, conceding just 18. Possession-wise, second on 60%. Fewest shots by far, most shots by 300, which is fantastic to see. And obviously, we got the most points per game, as you can expect. And again, the goals and assists are very well spread out. 38 goals and 38 assists for new Manchester United player, Neymar. I mean, he's not, is he? We can't be having Neymar at United. I don't want it. I don't want to see it. Messi, 33 goals, 20 assists. Mbappe, only 29 goals and 12 assists. I say only because a lot of the time Mbappe will do absolutely wild things, but maybe the complete forward role doesn't suit him quite as much. He seems to be injured a little bit as well, playing just 39 games, so who knows. The centre-back the corner tactic that I spoke about, Marquinhos scored 25 goals. He is outrageously good at heading, and this corner tactic is outrageously good, so I will show you that as well. Carlos Soler, 21 goals, 18 assists. Fabian, 11 goals, 10 assists. Bernat, 10 goals, 9 assists as well. Kimpembe getting 9 goals. Verratti getting 10 assists. And also Nuno Mendes getting a 10 assists from left back. And finally, the last thing I'm going to show you guys is Real Sociedad, clear of 6th and 7th place, the 5th best team in the league by far, and has actually been up as high as 2nd just 4 games before the end. A little bit of a bottle at the end, but finished just, a point off Champions League and 5 points off of off second places. Very good stuff for this side of Real Sociedad. Umar Sadiq had an unbelievable season up front. 34 goals. He really enjoyed this formation and this tactic, and he absolutely smashed it. You can see the sort of profile you're looking at. He's a big boy, 6'4". He's quick. He can finish. He moves into the channels, which is perfect for a complete forward. And everyone loves to winds up opponents straight, don't they? I mean, how can you not? It's good fun. Why not wind them up? Most goals were second to eventual league winners Real Madrid, and a few was conceded again. We weren't there. So maybe one thing I was trying to tweak, well, it was something I was trying to tweak when I was trying to make the tactic a little better, was to make it a little bit better defensively, but I couldn't get the sort of results I wanted from the attacking flow going forward if I did make it as defensive as I did. Hence why I've sort of left it as it is and not tried to tweak it too much. I'll show you a few things I was trying to do, but it would take away from the Arsenal style of play. In fact, let's get into the tactic right now. And if you guys can, really make sure just to like the video as well. Subscribe to Sort Out SI because it helps them out massively. It helps me out massively, and also come over to my own personal channel. As we are about to get into the tactic, it helps me out massively. And it helps you guys out as well because you get to see an extra 2 tactics a week from myself, an extra 2 rebuilds a week from myself. And if you're not subscribing to sortitoutsi, you're not seeing my tactic, you're not seeing my rebuilds, you're not seeing Andabaz's league guides, his AI tactics that he builds. The videos are fantastic over here at the moment, so make sure you are subscribing. Now the tactic itself, I'm going to show you it broken down with Arsenal. It's a sweeper keeper on defend in goal with with take fewer risks on his instructions, a fullback on support on the left and the right, just with sit narrower, which I quite like. As you know, you do see Zinklo do that quite a lot from the left-hand side. One thing I was trying to put on them and make it work a bit more was to stay wider but cut inside. The results weren't as good, and simply just that tweak wasn't working. So I left that one to its own. 2 ball-playing defenders on defend at centre-back, no further instructions. And an anchor man on defend in DM, no further instructions. And the Segundo Volante on support as well with no further instructions, which I quite like because as a midfield duo, you've got the Volante who's going to go up there and press and win the ball back. And you've got, I've pressed that wrong. And the anchor man who's going to just sit there, dictate the play as the anchor man does, Thomas Partey basically, and dominate the game with Arsenal, which is fantastic. An inverted winger on the right and the left. Right one has got to take more risks, left one has not. An advanced playmaker on attack in the middle with roam from position and move into channels. Martin Odegaard is one of my favourite players at the moment, and he has been fantastic for Arsenal. And what I like to see was how good the cams were working in this system. And the complete forward on attack up front with no further instructions. Positive mentality in possession, in passing space, play out of defence, low crosses, be more expressive and a higher tempo. In transition, I've got it as roll it out, counter and counter press, and out of possession, I've got it as a high press system, press much more often, prevent the shortcut distribution as well. Now a few things I was adding on as I made this an inside forward on attack. To be fair, Martinelli, it's sort of a throw up and you could have him as a winger inside or an inside forward. He is a very attacking player. So I was testing out putting it inside forward and attack on him. I tested out actually tackle harder on all front 3 of these as well. And again, it wasn't quite giving me the same results, which I don't know if it's just, FM is a random number generator. But when I'm seeing sort of a 10-point difference consecutive times, it's not quite the same tactic, is it? And it's not quite working as well. When the advanced playmakers I didn't touch because I think that capitulates Odegaard fantastically, which is a very good thing to see. I did try and make the wing backs, like I said, full backs with sit wider but cut inside, and again that didn't work. I think they got a little bit too involved to say, but yeah, try a few things out if you want to, but this I think is a very good representative of how Arsenal do play in real life. I'm going to try and find some games within the last month that are good for highlights, so give me just 2 seconds and hopefully I can find you some good gameplay. Well, it's not a cup final, but it's a 3-0 victory against Man City in the league within the last month, which is sort of the best thing I can show, to try and show some nice goals without it just being, a mistake in the AI or a dodgy tackle, which leads to me going 1-on-1. So it's Arsenal versus City. You can see we won the game 3-0. Saka finding the anchorman El Neni, cutting it back to Saka. Ball in the box, does get deflected, but Fabio Vieira is there right in the middle to finish that one home to make it 1-0 to Arsenal. With this one, you've got Tomiyasu at right back. You've got Jorginho. Trossard Zinchenko has gone all the way up into that position as that sit narrower, I think, is a little bit crazy. So maybe if it's a little bit too attacking, take that off because he's very narrow. In fact, he's on the opposite wing. Trossard eventually finds the ball to Jorginho. Some fantastic patient play here. Great ball by El Neni and Nketiah on the half turn, finishing that one for 2-0. And then the third goal is going to come from Tierney down the left-hand side. He's going to knock it down the wing to Reece Nelson, who's going to get the ball into the box for Leandro Trossard to just peel back from his man and make it 3-0. This game, we were a little bit dominated by Manchester City, but we were more clinical when we ended up winning the game. And I think the tactic does make some very, very good highlights because you've got the low crosses on. When you get onto the byline, when you've not got a big team like Arsenal haven't, setting it back into the sort of penalty spot or the edge of the 6-yard box in that little half space is absolutely perfect. And the tactic does a very good job of that. Now, if you guys do end up downloading this tactic, it is available in my personal Discord channel or on sortitoutsi from about 6 PM today. So make sure you are getting over there and downloading that, and let me know your results of it as well. I always want to know how you guys are doing with these tactics. So smash the like button, smash a comment down below on how you're getting on with the tactic, and always subscribe to both channels and also on Andabaz as well. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll speak to you next time.